The self is the most fragile construct we possess. Unlike the body, the self has no skin to protect it. It is porous, absorbing whatever surrounds it. And what surrounds us most intimately is the judgment of others. We live submerged in a sea of opinions, breathing them in with every moment. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer saw this with painful clarity. The more you care about opinions, the less you care about yourself. Schopenhauer illustrated this human condition through a simple yet profound metaphor: the dilemma of the porcupines. He observed that our need for others is matched only by the pain they inflict upon us. On a freezing winter day, a group of porcupines faces a choice. The cold is unbearable alone, so they instinctually huddle together, seeking the warmth of shared bodies. But as they draw closer, their quills begin to pierce one another. The very bodies that promised warmth now become sources of sharp, immediate pain. They are forced to recoil. The cold soon becomes unbearable again, driving them together once more. And once more, the quills bring pain and separation. This painful oscillation continues indefinitely. This is the porcupine dilemma. It reveals a fundamental truth of the human condition. We need others to survive, yet the very closeness we crave inevitably becomes a source of suffering. In the modern world, this dilemma has intensified to a degree Schopenhauer could scarcely have imagined. We are surrounded by more people than any generation before us. We are physically closer than ever, packed into cities and trains, yet we have erected new barriers. We isolate ourselves with digital quills, seeking connection without the risk of touch. We have created digital extensions of ourselves, broadcasting our lives for judgment. We now seek the warmth of connection not through touch, but through the currency of likes and views. Every notification becomes a needle. Every judgment, whether positive or negative, pricks the fragile skin of our constructed identity. We trade solidity for phantom validation. With every exchange, we lose a fragment of ourselves. We become less real, more dependent on the reflection others provide. Our sense of self begins to hollow out. Schopenhauer, observing this dynamic long before the digital age, believed that the only genuine escape was through art and solitude. In these, he saw a temporary reprieve. In aesthetic contemplation, we momentarily forget the self and its constant wounds. We are absorbed by something larger, something beyond the judgment of the herd. In solitude, the performance for an audience ceases. The masks we wear for others fall away. We are left with only ourselves and all our raw, unfiltered vulnerability. But Schopenhauer remained a pessimist. He viewed these respites as just that, temporary pauses between inevitable wounds. He saw no permanent cure for the porcupine dilemma. Friedrich Nietzsche, a later philosopher deeply influenced by Schopenhauer, rejected this pessimism. He saw the dilemma not as a curse, but as a forge. Nietzsche posed a radical, unsettling question. What if the crowd, the herd, is always wrong? What if their opinions are not just useless, but fundamentally dangerous? He observed the herd mentality with disdain. The herd despises the individual, because the individual, by being different, reminds the herd of its own mediocrity and lost freedom. The herd's will is conformity. Its unspoken command is, be like us or be nothing. The moment you value the herd's opinion, you submit to its will. And its will is your spiritual destruction. Nietzsche called the one who escapes this fate the Übermensch, often translated as the overman. This is not a tyrant, but the one who creates their own values. The overman does not ask the herd, "What will you think of me?" He turns the question inward. What do I think of myself? This simple shift changes everything. When you stop performing for them, you stop being their slave. You cease to be a character in their story and become the author of your own. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." But if your why is their approval, you have nothing substantial to bear the weight of existence. What does not kill me makes me stronger. This is perhaps Nietzsche's most famous line, but its meaning is deeper than mere resilience. Their rejection, their scorn, their judgment, these are not merely obstacles. They are the hammer and chisel. Without them, you remain a rough, unformed stone. With them, you are shaped. You are tested. You are forced to discover what you truly are, not what they wish you to be. Their scorn is the water that sharpens the blade. The pain they inflict can either hollow you out or forge you into something harder, something stronger. The choice of interpretation is yours. But how do we cultivate this inner strength? The Stoics, particularly the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, built a fortress that required no walls. He called it the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind, impervious to the noise and chaos of the external world. No insult can breach its walls. No praise can corrupt its garrison. Because the fortress does not let opinions in, it observes them passing by, like clouds in an endless sky. He wrote in his meditations, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This is not denial. It is a profound understanding that between an event and our reaction to it lies a space. In that space is our freedom, our power. The more we expand that space, the more we exist as ourselves. The more we fill it with their noise, their judgments, the less we exist. Their voice and means our voice out. This brings us to a stark, unavoidable truth. A truth that Schopenhauer, Nietzsche, and Aurelius all recognized, despite their differences. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot simultaneously build an authentic self and perform a self for an audience. These are mutually exclusive projects. Every time you choose their voice over your own, you tear a small hole in the fabric of your soul. At first, these holes are barely noticeable, but over time, the holes multiply, until one day you wake up and realize there is no you left. The wind blows right through you. You have become hollow. Care too much about opinions, and eventually there is no self left to care about anything at all. You become a vessel filled only with the echoes of what they said. Schopenhauer saw the dilemma and offered solitude as a temporary anesthetic. But Nietzsche demanded more. He demanded transformation. Nietzsche's overman does not just endure the cold. He becomes it. He does not just survive the quills, he learns to use them. Their judgment becomes his armor. Their rejection, his whetstone. He has taken the poison and made it medicine. The mirrors are empty now, not because they have nothing to show, but because you no longer need them to tell you who you are. You have become your own mirror. You have moved from being the observed to being the observer, from a character in their story to the author of your own. And an author does not ask for permission. Three minds, separated by centuries, sit together now. They agree on one essential point. The key to life is locked inside you, not in the crowd outside. Children do not care what you think of their drawing. They create because creation is joy. They exist because existence is enough. They have not yet learned they need permission. Somewhere along the way, we traded the painter for the critic. We traded the child for the adult who is afraid of being judged. We forgot how to simply be. To care less about opinions is not arrogance. It is not narcissism. It is a return to innocence. It is remembering that you existed before they had an opinion of you. It is realizing that the crowd will never love you as much as you can love yourself. The crowd cannot love. The crowd consumes, judges, and moves on to its next target. The Stoics called this state ataraxia, freedom from disturbance. But it is more than that. It is freedom from the tyranny of their gaze. You are not what they say about you. You are what you do when they aren't watching. You are the voice inside, not the echo outside. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look there." The stars are beautiful, but so are you. In a world obsessed with being seen, the ultimate act of rebellion is to simply be. Not to be seen, not to be liked, not to be shared. Just to be. The more you care about opinions, the less you care about yourself. This is not just philosophy. It is a warning and an invitation. If this resonated, consider subscribing. The only approval you truly need is your own. Share in the comments. What opinion are you releasing today?